Hey guys, what's going on? I'm John. If you've been in a sporting goods store lately, you've probably seen these stainless steel tumblers scattered all over the shelves. They're becoming really popular with hunters, fishermen, campers, or anyone else that likes to enjoy a hot coffee in the morning or a cold cocktail in the evening. The question is, which one do you get? There's lots of companies that make a very similar product and the prices span a huge range. To help address this question, I decided to jump in the mix and straighten this mess out. In this video, I'm testing the capabilities of 3 different stainless steel tumblers. The 20-ounce Ozark Trail Tumbler that retails for $7.74 on the Walmart website. The 20-ounce RTIC tumbler, which retails for $14.99 on the RTIC website. And the 20-ounce Yeti Rambler tumbler that retails for $29.99 on the Yeti website. All of the prices previously mentioned were as of July 2016. Now here's a little bit more information on the products that I'll be comparing. All of the tumblers are 20 ounces. All of the manufacturers claim that they use 18/8 stainless steel. All of the tumblers are double-walled vacuum insulated. Each tumbler also comes with a clear plastic lid that has a rubber gasket. I did label each tumbler so it was easier for you guys to identify the products in this video. Now that you guys know specifically what we're going to be looking at, let's get to the testing. The first test was a 24-hour ice test at room temperature. The ice used for this test all came out of the same ice tray, so the cubes were a similar size. Since the ice cubes were a little bit bigger, it only took 5 cubes in each tumbler to fill it up and still be able to put the lid on. I put the lids on each tumbler and let the product sit for 24 hours. Now let's fast forward to the next day. The melted ice is represented by the amount of water that's poured in each glass. As you can see, after 24 hours, there's still ice left in all 3 tumblers. The results of the 24-hour room temperature ice test showed that the RTIC did the best in this test, having the least amount of ice melted as represented by the least amount of water in the glass. The Yeti and the Ozark Trail tumblers had the exact same amount of ice melted, which was just a tiny bit more than the RTIC tumbler. All 3 of the products did a pretty good job of holding ice for 24 hours. Let's move on to the next test. The next test was the 4-hour ice test at 100-degree temperatures. I used the same size ice from the same ice trays and the same amount of ice, which was 5 cubes in each tumbler. After I put the covers on, I wanted to get these things outside in the heat. The day that I did the test, the temperatures outside were 85 degrees Fahrenheit, but I wanted to crank it up a little bit, so I put them in my truck where the temperatures creep closer to 100 degrees. At the start of the test, the temperatures were at 99 degrees Fahrenheit. I checked on the tumblers 2 hours later and the temperature read 102. At the end of the test, or 4 hours later, the temperature was back down to 99 degrees. I brought all 3 tumblers back in and measured the amount of water again. The results of the 4-hour ice test in hot temperatures showed that the RTIC and Yeti tumblers tied with the least amount of ice melted in this test as represented by the least amount of water in the glasses. The Ozark Trail tumbler had the most ice melted, but again, just a tiny bit more than the other 2. I was actually really surprised by this test. I would have went longer than 4 hours, but I thought the ice was going to melt much quicker than that, and all 3 products actually worked really good. The next test was the 8-hour hot water test at room temperature. What I did was heated up water on the stove and measured the temperature with a digital thermometer. In this test, the water had a temperature of 175.5 degrees Fahrenheit. I put 16 ounces of this hot water in each of the 3 tumblers. After putting the lids on, I let each tumbler sit for 8 hours at room temperature. Fast forward 8 hours, I stirred each of the tumblers to eliminate any hot or cold spots, and then I took readings with the digital thermometer. Again, the water started at 175.5 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature of the water in the Ozark Trail tumbler came down to 98.7 degrees. The temperature of the water in the RTIC tumbler came down to 102.2 degrees, and the temperature of the water in the Yeti tumbler came down to 99.1 degrees. So the RTIC tumbler dropped 73.3 degrees, the Yeti tumbler dropped 76.4 degrees, and the Ozark Trail tumbler dropped 76.8 degrees. The results of the 8-hour hot water test at room temperature showed the RTIC did the best, losing the least amount of heat in this test. The last test was the 2-hour hot water test at freezing temperatures. I did the same thing. I heated the water up on the stove and took a temperature. In this test, the hot water had a temperature of 185.0 Fahrenheit. I put 16 ounces of this hot water in each of the 3 tumblers. This time, after putting the lids on, I put them right in the freezer. Two hours later, I took them out, removed the lids, stirred the water again to eliminate any hot or cold spots, and measured the temperature again with the digital thermometer. The temperature of the water at the end of this test in the Yeti tumbler came in at 132.2 degrees Fahrenheit. The water in the RTIC measured 131.5, and the water in the Ozark Trail measured 131.0 degrees. Again, we started at 185.0 degrees Fahrenheit. That means the temperature in the Yeti tumbler dropped 52.5 degrees, the temperature of the water in the RTIC dropped 53.5 degrees, and the temperature of the water in the Ozark Trail Tumbler dropped 54 degrees even. The results of the 2-hour hot water test and freezing temperatures showed that the Yeti did the best in this test, losing the least amount of heat. If you really want to split hairs, you could probably say that the RTIC tumbler worked a little bit better in the majority of these tests. But as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, the differences weren't significant enough to say that any of them were better than the next. For me, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think they're all about the same, but that's just my opinion. If you guys have seen my other videos, you know that I'm not trying to persuade you one way or the other. I'm just trying to give you as much information as possible so you guys can make an informed decision. It's your money, not mine. Spend it the way you want. That's it, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. Leave a comment below, and if you're into hunting, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I've got other hunting videos, product reviews, hunting tips, do-it-yourself videos. Get on over there and check it out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for our next video. Peace.